Welcome everybody. So welcome everybody. As soon as the screen loads, we will start the second qualifying session of the day. The first one obviously was with the PC race, but now we will have the Xbox race racing for some top spots here and for another race win. We will monitor everything from Direwolf's perspective, and today obviously we will be racing in Baku city circuit in Azerbaijan to race for the title for the Grand Prix of Azerbaijan.
When you're ready, let's go.
I hope everybody can hear me and you can understand everything I say. We will monitor the qualifying sessions of everybody, and here we have Direwolves as the first driver to leave the pits here. And here we can see him going into the first corner. And he's on his out lap at the moment. And as it seems, he's not the only driver on the out lap here right now. Well, Baku is a great circuit. 6.003 kilometers to race. That's about 3.73 miles that the drivers have to master every lap. Also, a track consisting of 20 corners, of which the most dangerous are definitely corner number 8. And we have 2 DRS zones between corner number 20 and 1. That is on the racing start where the grid is placed. And another DRS zone between corner number 2 and 3. Some overtaking points are obviously the straights. Corner number 15, or basically every corner except corner number 8, which is a very straight, a very tight one. So you shouldn't try to overtake on that corner there. Also, the first Grand Prix here took place in 2016, and as we have seen already here, one of our drivers dropped out of this session, so he will start automatically from last place. In the meantime, we'll obviously follow Direwolves in his Red Bull seat to see where he will finish this race. And that seems to be a very good lap time for Direwolves here, with a 1:42.231, finishing just ahead of TW and Vettel in the Ferrari. Russell then on P4 and Stroll in the Racing Point on P5. All three of them obviously are AI drivers. Direwolves and TW are drivers of the F1 Racing League. So here again, we still have Direwolves lacking a little bit of pace from that last run, but still it looks pretty good for him, as he's doing a great job at the moment. The Red Bull driver about to defend his P1 spot here. Also P1 in the Driver Championship with 53 points. Oh!
That was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
And there we have it. Direwolves is out of the session for Q2. And that's it. Well, that was fast. That was very fast. And unfortunate, of course. No one wants to see something like that happen to any of your driver. So now we'll have a look at everyone else. Here's James Toddy, who's currently on P14, obviously trying to get a better lap time. But we still have our top three being TW on P1 in the McLaren, Galore Nebula 433 in the Racing Point, and there's a big piling up here after James Toddy. We've got Ceramic Mars in the Renault on P12, and that top 3 spot here with Dawson Army, who completes the podium for the qualifying for now. Obviously there's still a lot of time left for everyone to secure themselves their final positions. Unfortunately, Direwolves has dropped out of the session. Here we can see the drivers going back into the pits because they all seem to be pretty happy with their race result, with their Q1 result at the moment. The ones that are not happy with the race result will probably or most certainly go out to the track again or return to the track. Here we have TW, who's currently on P1 with a 1:42.4, 3/10 away from Galore Nebula on P2, and Dawson Army is about 1 second away from TW in P1. James Toddy, as I said, was going into the pits before, now is trying to come out again to complete a better lap time and maybe get into Q2, secure himself that spot. Direwolves has now pretty much failed the qualifying and has to start again from the last place. But there's still 7 minutes left on the clock. So here now we've got the top 3 drivers pitting at the moment, so no problem there. Gasly is still out, as is Kvyat, and James Toddy is still on his out lap. So James Toddy is still about to finish his lap, and I'm very curious if he will be able to get into Q2. I'm obviously rooting for him, as I'm rooting for all of our drivers to compete at the highest level. And here we can see him about to finish his race here, his lap. Doesn't have much time left, it's around 5 minutes. Still has some time, of course, but now on the long straight, and he goes up into 4th place. That's a brilliant lap by James Toddy to get himself into Q2 and secure that P4. So here, it's still James Toddy trying to put up an even better lap than the one before. And now we'll see if he'll be able to do that. Now coming up on the straight into the DRS zone, and still passing the box, and it's not going to be a better lap time. He's going to stay P4. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. And we have also our current number 1, TW here, coming back on the track. Here you can see him, already finished his outlap. And the yellow flag, I believe, is created due to the lack of fuel in James Toddy's car. Both of them are currently the only 2 drivers left on the grid, on the track. And here we've seen why corner number 8 is that dangerous. If you don't come into it with security, you really have to be safe and sure that you will get that corner right. Because if you don't, and if you're not sure, then you're going to go into the walls, as did TW. For example, here we just really saw how dangerous that corner can be. It's just because it is really, really tight, and you really have to take care there. You really have to be careful, but we know all of our drivers are, of course, experienced drivers. They know what they do, and they know that they really know their braking game. They really are. They really do trust their braking. And here now, James Toddy, I believe, is about to go into the pits as well. I'm pretty sure he is, and that basically leaves no driver out on the pits. Here we can see him. Yes, he's gone into the pits. And that basically leaves us with currently no drivers on track. Direwolves, unfortunately, has been disqualified. And that makes us here with a very nice first qualifying session. 10 seconds to go. And Valtteri Bottas going out, as well as Charles Leclerc, because they are not bringing any time onto the board here. Both of them. Of course not. That was a low joke. Well, now wait to go into Q2. Here we can see, as we already said, TW finishing on P1, Direwolves being disqualified of this session due to finishing into the walls. Galore Nebula in the Racing Point on P2. And here we'll start and jump into the qualifying session number 2. And we're back, and here we can see already some drivers going out. So in each other here, smashing in each other, but it doesn't matter. We have Roman Grosjean out on track in the outlap, Stroll on the outlap, Magnussen outlap, and I see both Racing Points on the outlap, which means Galore Nebula is about to leave the boxes as well. TW also going out of the box here. Dawson Army in the Mercedes is also on his outlap, and James Toddy is just following everyone here in his Alfa Romeo. He as well is already on his outlap. Oh, smashing a low into the wall there, but still keeping it under control, everything. just right there in his hands. So here we're following Galore Nebula, who's now finishing his out lap and starting with his lap, and he will start now, starting his lap time, just as all the other drivers did. Dawson Army finished his out lap as well. James Toddy was a little behind, but he will finish his out lap as soon as possible. And nearly all drivers are on track, just a McLaren missing, an AlphaTauri and a Renault. Oh, here Galore Nebula a little bit too late to brake here, and that's again a point that I said that I wanted to speak about, that it's really, really important that you know your braking game and that you trust into the brake, into the brakes that you have, because if you brake too late, especially here in Baku, it can be fatal. But as it looks like the drivers are mastering all the corners with ease, and they're not struggling too much. We still have 11 and a half minutes left on the clock for the drivers to put up good lap times, and here we are again with Galore Nebula hitting the walls. TW still hasn't put up a lap time, as well as James Toddy, and now George Russell is the first driver to put up a lap time with a 1.44, as well as Lance Stroll. Daniel Kvyat passing George Russell here by 2 thousandths, and Galore Nebula now securing himself P2, as TW is the one getting that pole position in Q2. A 1.42 for TW, and here's again that late braking, very, very dangerous from Galore Nebula. James Toddy got himself to P2 after that, and here again into the walls. Dawson Army currently on P10. He's the driver at risk. At the moment, but I believe he will be able to secure himself the spot for Q3, or at least I hope so. We will still follow everything. Now Galore Nebula about to finish here into corner. Oh, again that late braking. That is dangerous, but unfortunately our drivers are already on the track and they know what they do. I don't know, maybe we will be able to see someone else drive, but still Galore Nebula is doing a great job, always securing himself P3. And now here, as I already said it, Dawson Army got onto P4. And now the box is a little bit of a problem there for the Racing Point, as there was a double pit stop and he had to wait again. Now here we see the Mercedes of Dawson in Sector 2. There's been a yellow flag. Dawson now is already is in Sector 2, about to come to Sector 3. Yes, last corners here. Now coming into corner 16, hitting corner 17. There we go. About to get into corner 18. Oh, that was a little bit close. 19 and 20 is the one ahead. That one. And now he's just on the straight. To maybe finish even better than before. But he doesn't have enough fuel. Or he's braking to go back into the pits. Well, most of the drivers, I believe, are happy with the position that they have right now. And we have a crash. We have a crash in corner number 8. The fatal corner for so many drivers. Charles Leclerc in 2019 was the one hitting the wall here, which meant for him the end of his so close victory. Valtteri Bottas was the one winning in that year, but still, that corner number 8, as I said, is very, very dangerous and difficult. You have to be super, super careful there, because you can't really brake too well, and it's very tight. Now we'll take a look at TW. Is currently in P1 with the fastest lap, playing at 1:42.991. Brilliant lap, and absolutely fantastic what TW is doing at the moment. Some very, very nice laps here from the McLaren driver. Good corner cutting. Now he's coming into corner 8 as well. That one was a very, very close story there. You could see it was like centimeters between the car and the wall. He's now coming into corner 16 to finish his next lap here with 4 minutes to go for the other drivers to improve their times and to improve their qualifying standings. TW now, here we can see maybe he did some improvement. And he did 1:42.7 for the McLaren driver. That was a beautiful lap by TW. Galore Nebula in the Racing Point, now again back on another out lap. He really wants to improve his lap. He really wants to, you can see that. Here we have Galore Nebula, who's obviously trying to get a better lap time, to get further up higher in the standings. Well, with 1 minute to go, I think we have some very solid lap times. The top 4 for Q3 looks like TW is going to be on P1. Galore Nebula has got himself to P2, passing James Toddy, who currently is on P3, and Dawson Army on P4. Now let's see if Galore Nebula will be able to get himself a better lap time than TW and maybe finish on P1 in Q2 and start from there for the next 10-minute fight here in Q3 between the two drivers. Now Galore Nebula's on the straight here. We'll have a look. Will he be able to pass TW? No, he's going to go into the pits. That was very late braking. Again, from the Racing Point. But still. It's going in here. So here we have the whole story after Q2. TW still on P1, Galore Nebula in the Racing Point on P2, James Toddy on P3 with the Alfa Romeo, and Dawson in the Mercedes finishes on P4. So here we are in Q3. There's a bunch of cars exiting. I can see the Williams, or a Williams, of George Russell. I can see Sebastian Vettel leaving, Lance Stroll as well. James Toddy in the Alfa Romeo is also leaving the pits, Lando Norris as well, and Fiat leaving. The only ones in the pits being Dawson Army, Esteban Ocon, Galore Nebula, who's now left the pits already. So the only two drivers left in the pits are Esteban Ocon and Dawson Army, who now also left the pits. Esteban Ocon now the only driver in the pits, and the rest is all on track to get a very good position for Q3. And well, we will obviously follow everyone, and for now they're all on their out laps, so we'll see what will happen. We have 10 minutes for this qualifying session here, and the race will start in about 10 to 15 minutes, when the qualifying ends, meaning that every driver is going to be back again. That's a good movement here from James Toddy in his out lap, and now he will start his first lap. Esteban Ocon now on the track as well, which basically means that there's no drivers in the pits anymore. Now we'll look at Galore Nebula in the Racing Point, starting his first lap here. Good first corner. Coming into corner number 2. Very good. Solid exit here by the Racing Point driver. And he's really aiming for that first spot here, for that pole position. But we saw already in the PC race that a pole position gives you a certain advantage, but it doesn't mean that you automatically win. It never does. You can be sure of that. Still, Galore Nebula now doing a very good lap time, a very good lap at the moment. Oh, but now finishing into the wall again. Now into corner number 8, corner number 9 and 10. Cutting late, but still doing a good job. Now on the straight here, very good movement. Runs alongside the wall. Now he's got the braking here. Good movement from him, and he's still going on the straight. Very good movement from Galore Nebula. He really adjusted his style of driving to the very tight and difficult race track that Baku is. We also have a new fastest lap here, made again by James Toddy in the Alfa Romeo with a 1:42. Galore Nebula finishing on P2 and TW just behind him on P3. Dawson Army not having completed his first lap, but now he did, and he finishes on P4 in the Mercedes. Yeah, we can see that a lot of the drivers are struggling with that corner with that corner 13, and it is a very difficult corner. Baku is a difficult circuit. You have a lot of straights, but you have a lot of corners, and the corners are the one that can cut you in half, that can cut your time, that can cut your race, that can end or demolish your Grand Prix. Not only your qualifying, of course, because in the end the corners are the ones that are the real deal. Direwolves had to learn that the hard way, as he unfortunately dropped out of the Grand Prix due to that. But everyone else is doing a good job, a very good one. We're currently looking at Esteban Ocon and TW, who is the only driver on the track right now, trying to do another outlap to secure himself that P1, as James Toddy really did a great job in Q3 here. Brilliant performance from the Alfa Romeo driver. Galore Nebula is still stuck on that P2, and he also is leaving the pits to go in another outlap to maybe try to get to that pole position that they both really want, the McLaren and the Racing Point. They both fought hard for that P1. The McLaren driver TW, who had secured both prior P1 positions in Q1 and Q2, and now has to fight for that pole position, which obviously gives every driver a very big advantage. But in the end, it's up to you if you're able to use it, or if you can use it the right way. Right now, Galore Nebula is doing a great outlap. I'm not quite sure if that corner cutting is really the best thing to do there, but obviously every driver knows what he does. Every driver knows his game. He knows his steering wheel, he knows his controller, he knows his keyboard, whatever he's using. He knows how to use it as well. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, and Galore Nebula is now in his race lap, hitting the wall there. A bit unfortunate for the Racing Point driver. Now into corner number 3 and 4 coming up here, which is a very, well, easy but difficult corner, because it is easy because it's a 90-degree corner, so usually the drivers know how to master it, but the exit is very tight, so you really have to look and take care how you exit there, as well as here. That one was very close as well again for the tire. It was just like swirling around the wall there. And well, yeah, I'm very excited for the race to see where the drivers will finish, where the drivers are able to to land. We'll see. We'll see what will happen. Now Galore Nebula obviously trying to get that lap time, which he did not get. Unfortunately, maybe he can retry it now. And now we're following in Dawson Army. Oh, just touching the wall there. Just right after corner number 10. Yeah, that Baku's difficult. Baku's very difficult. Baku is very technical. That is something. It is a track where you really have to concentrate your skills and put them together to make the best out of it. In the end. So will Dawson Army be able to get a better lap time? Yes, he will, jumping up to P2 just behind James Toddy. Brilliant lap by the Mercedes driver, and he probably will be very happy with that lap time as well. 1:42, just in front of the Racing Point. Second place for Dawson Army and the Mercedes here and in Baku. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, welcome everybody to now finally round 5 of the F1 Racing League calendar here in Baku, Azerbaijan. As here we can see the drivers, and it's instantly lights out and away we go. And Direwolves with a great move over the outside, pushing up into P10 for the Red Bull driver here. Now Stroll and Kvyat make it a little bit difficult for the Red Bull driver to pass there, and there's already a yellow flag and a virtual safety car deployed here in lap 1, and that is what makes the start of a Grand Prix super interesting. We already know that there will be casualties, or there will be some battles right at the start. As we know, today's challenge for Direwolves, the Red Bull driver, is to get back into the further into the first part of the grid. Here he did hit Kvyat, unfortunately, which meant that he had to brake a little and give away a little bit of his front wing. There's a virtual safety car right now, and now the virtual safety car is ending, as everyone can hear. We can see the drivers. Now Direwolves on P8, passing Stroll and Kvyat, hitting wheel to wheel against Vettel. He's got Galore Nebula on P6, maybe now able to pass the Ferrari driver. Yes, he is. Is he also able to pass the Racing Point? Yes, he is, as the Racing Point is going into the pits. But he's not going to be able to pass the McLaren. But still, that was a great move. Absolutely fantastic by the Red Bull driver. Brilliant what Direwolves was doing at the moment, and he was on the hards. He started this Grand Prix on the hards, and we're still in lap number 2. So we still have a lot of time to go here. TW just in front of him. That is going to be the battle that we are going to follow right now. Direwolves is after the McLaren, who's obviously on the softs, which makes the McLaren driver, TW, a lot faster. But we will see. There was a good corner here. TW went a little bit wide here. Again into corner 8. Both of them doing a great job here. Now corner 10. Good one. And they are on a straight here. We'll see if the McLaren is going to slow down a little. It doesn't look like it. Now corner 15. 13, I'm sorry. Oh, Direwolves going off the track, but still having had a good lap time in sector 2, being the fastest. And now dropping down a little bit much even. James Tuddy concluding the fastest lap with a 1:47. 15 seconds faster for Direwolves than the lap before. And he's still trying it. Good, moving into corner 2, which brings him a little bit closer to TW here. It's only 3 tenths away, 2 tenths, so maybe he can use the DRS. The teammate Alexander Arbon is in the pits now, passing TW. Direwolves in the Red Bull, now has the AR in front of him, with Lando Norris just there, the other McLaren driver, but Direwolves passes him as well. Now Dawson Army in front of him in P3. Can he get himself that podium spot very early in lap number 3 already? That's a great movement here by Dawson as well. He's doing some very good solid corners. That's a little bit too wide here. And so the Red Bull driver, Direwolves, has to slow down a little to get safe from hitting the wall there. He doesn't want to end like the previous qualifying session. Now Dawson Army in front of him. And the Red Bull driver is now on the straight, going wide again, but still keeping himself on the straight, on the track. He's got Norris behind him, who's pushing on the softs. And that is very tough. He's going to defend a little. Norris seems to have lost a little bit of front wing. Now into the corners. That was some great defending from Direwolves. The Red Bull driver is doing a very good job at the moment. And Dawson now in front of him. Ocon on P1. James Toddy has dropped down. I believe he went into the pits, but I'm not 100% sure. But that was some late braking by the Red Bull driver here. Dawson Army still the intended target here. The man to beat on the wheel. Ocon now, still on P1. That's a fantastic movement from Esteban Ocon, and all of our drivers are doing a very good job. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yellow flag.
Ocon is passed, as it looks like he's going to have some mechanical issues. There's a green flag again. The yellow flag, so did resolve. And now here the fight at the top is called Dawson against Direwolves, Mercedes against Red Bull. A battle that we've seen a lot in recent years in the F1 calendar. In the Formula 1, that was a battle that we've seen a lot of times. Very often. With Max Verstappen, of course, and Lewis Hamilton, but this time it's a very late break-in from Direwolves, who was close to hitting Dawson there, was distracted. It was very, very close here. But he managed to pull the car around and not finish into the Mercedes here. Now maybe on the straight, passing him with some DRS, late braking, and Direwolves gets into the P1 here. On the hards, now has to defend against Dawson and the Mercedes on the mediums, and that is a great move from Direwolves. I mean, just look at it. Usually hards are the slower tires, but he managed to defend, to keep Norris off, who was pushing before with the softs, and now he really passed on Dawson, who's using the mediums. That one is a fantastic movement from Direwolves here. Brilliant. He's now about to go into P6, into laps number 6 here. Finishing corners number 17. Number 16, I'm sorry. 17, 18, 19 and 20 is coming up. There we go. That one was corner number 20, and then there's just the straight left here for the Red Bull driver. He's currently on lean, and there's Dawson, who's trying to overtake him over the outside there on the straight, but Direwolves really managed to keep the Mercedes behind him again by pushing the Mercedes out of the track. We are in lap number 6, which means we have about 20 laps to go. Dawson now pushing again to get that P1 back from Direwolves in the Red Bull. Really, that is a very, very exciting. A very exciting battle between Dawson and Direwolves.
it well. Copy that.
Direwolves is still in P1 on the hards. We're now in lap number 7, which means
Safety car, safety car. No
safety
overtaking.
car is
Reduce your
deployed.
pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
and lap number 7, which means the pit stops should be open right now.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk
There we
a
go, the
penalty.
drivers
Slow your
obviously
pace
have to
immediately.
reduce their pace, and we had a safety car in the PC race as well, which obviously gives an advantage to the drivers that are a little behind, that are not in the top points here, that are not part of the first rows, so that they can catch the queue and start from there again. Dawson is now pushing a little. Dowell's now hitting the wall, which means the next time that he will go
Coming up to the safety car now.
into
Do not pass
the
it.
pits.
You are the leader. Follow the safety car.
he will have to change the front wing as well. Obviously a safety car is always a great opportunity to go into the pits, because it brings you just the chance to change everything, wheel and stuff and front wing and strategy and whatever you want to change to get the best out of your car and the best out of your tires, obviously. We can see Direwolves here just behind the safety car pushing a little, making it a little bit maybe uncomfortable for the people in the safety car, but that obviously is not a circumstance or something that we have to look at. Currently in lap number 8, so that one is going to go over into lap number 9. We only hope that the drivers are able to control their car and not finish into the wall like Roman Grosjean did. Safety car is still there, so the only thing that we can do is wait.
Approaching the safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety
Norris
car.
now moved up to P2. Grosjean on P3. Kvyat on P4. And Magnussen P5. I can't see the other drivers, I'm very sorry. But I can only see what you can see, and that's right now the perspective of Direwolves in his Red Bull on the hards. I hope that the safety car is going to come in this lap. But who knows?
Understood, copy that. Okay, copy that. Got that, confirmed. The safety car now. Do not pass it. Confirmed.
So we can see Direwolves is going into the box. Giovinazzi and TW, I believe, and Ceramic Mars, all of them got a 5-second time penalty. James Toddy is disqualified. Is out of the race, as well as Esteban Ocon.
Go now.
That is very surprising, as I really was rooting for one of them, for the drivers, for James Toddy, to at least get on that podium today, but unfortunately, as it seems, he's got dropped out, and well, Direwolves currently on P16, changed to the medium tires, and as we saw, he decided to go for that two pits strategy, and now he has to stay behind Ceramic Mars, and that is a front wing damage, and another 5-second penalty for Direwolves. Whoa, that's a surprising situation here. And Ceramic Mars is, as it seemed, out of the race? No, he's not. Okay. The safety car is coming in. Well, that was a little bit confusing, I have to say. I didn't really understand what happened here. Now Ceramic Mars just slammed into the wall and is now disqualified. He's out of the race, safety car is coming in, and Direwolves is left on P15.
The track is clear. Green flag. Understood, stopping this lap. Go, go, go. up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tires.
So Darrells is coming out of the pits here, trying to get back.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy.
To everyone.
We're trailing our teammate by 33.3 seconds. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. To run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon. Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
So now 3 drivers are out of this race, and there's 3 drivers remaining. And Direwolves has a 5-second time penalty here. The Red Bull driver now in P11 trying to get back into the points. And he even has a little bit of problems with the fuel. Now coming into corner. That one was close. That was very dangerous. Corner number 5 here. Now on another straight. Again into another corner. That little chicane here. Where it leads to corner number 7. Then following, obviously, here we have number 8, 9 and 10. And now again on another straight here. Now we'll see how the race will go on.
Leading our teammate by 5.8 seconds.
He's now in sector number 1, Direwolves. Into corner number 3. Cutting again, 5 and 6. And he's now in lap number 17. So there's not much time left until the end of the race. About 10 laps to go. They're still fighting to get into the points here, and at the moment it's not looking too good. It's Charles Leclerc 1 second away from Direwolves.
We're approaching the pit window.
And he's even got on the fast lap. Now we've heard that Direwolves has to go in for the next pit stop. Passing Charles Leclerc on the straight, maybe. The man from Monaco. Now a late braking by Direwolves in the Red Bull. And he's going for another good corner here. Very well done.
The gap to the car ahead is 4.3 seconds.
Now up again into corner number 7. Aiming for number 8, where Charles Leclerc ended the race, and that again, here we can see how dangerous it can be. Direwolves now with his rear tyre, right rear tyre, hitting the wall there while turning into the next corner. We still have about 7 laps to go. 8 laps if you count the extra lap already. So there's not that much time left here. Cutting into the left here again in corner 1. He's got Magnussen in front of him, and Dawson Army at the moment in P5. Now the Red Bull driver is getting closer and closer. Galore Nebula is behind him on P8. Both of the drivers already showed a great race, and now the Red Bull driver Direwolves has hit front wing with rear with the Haas driver Kevin Magnussen here. Again, it seems like he had to bring away a little bit of front wing damage with that move. Ceramic Mars has left this session, and there we have Direwolves on P6 with a 5-second time penalty. Oh, that was close, just sliding across the wall. Dawson Army in front of him, no time penalty for him on the hards, and TW with a 5-second time penalty as well on P number 4. There's into corner number 13. Going into corner number 14, we can see the Red Bull driver really wanting to get back and get rid of this 5-second penalty here that he now has. Here we go, he's about to get into the pits, as it said. Oh, he's not going into the pits. He's changed strategy.
We're boxing this lap.
No, he didn't. My mistake. He's boxing this lap. I'm sorry for the false alarm. And we've got Sebastian Vettel on third. On P3, Dawson Army is still there. 9 seconds between Vettel and Direwolves, and 2 positions that divide the 2 Formula 1 drivers. There we can see Dawson Army in the Mercedes on P4 currently. Dawson Army has left the session, which means that driver is going to be an AI driver. Now that corner again here, and this lap it's going to be the boxing lap for Direwolves in the Red Bull. Big fan of the Red Bull man, big fan of the Racing Point man just behind him. Galore Nebula has done a very good race. Of course, not the best start for all 3 of them, as they started out on P3, and he doesn't go into the pits right now. On lap 21, now lap 22 started.
Gap to teammate behind is 15.4 seconds.
Currently on P5, the Red Bull driver. Dawson, or at least the AI of Dawson, still driving on P4. We've got Vettel on P3. I can't quite see who is on P2 and 1, but that's because Direwolves is about to take over Dawson's spot here. Maybe with the DRS, with the ERS, he's able to pass him. No, he's going to smash him a little into the wall. That one was dangerous. And it looked to me like Dawson was about to finish into a wall, but like completely lagged out of that spot right there. Direwolves changing onto the lean mixture here, going to that corner, dangerous, which has been one of the weak spots for Galore Nebula. That corner number 13, the exit is very tight and dangerous, or difficult. Now Direwolves has to pit, and that's, I believe, what he's going to do as well. At least we're looking at it. He's not going to pit for another lap. I believe he's going through with that tactic, cutting inside by Dawson Army, and Kviat is on P2. Great move, dangerous move, but that's what Ayrton Senna said. If you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. Well, that was risky. That was really, really risky by Direwolves on the P4 here. Saving himself some time. Still on the medium tyre. And I believe he's going to finish that on the medium tyre. Oh, hitting the wall there. But he still has some...
Copy that.
some tyre life left. I'm not 100% sure if he's about to pit this lap, or if he's not going wide in this here, because if he does pit, then he would have to change the front wing as well, and that is basically a part that you really need for the braking, especially in a circuit like Baku, where the braking is absolutely important, absolutely crucial. But still, he really has the car under control here. It's not looking like he's going to pit again, so I believe that he is going to stay with the strategy of keeping the mediums on that he has right now and just finishing the race. The last 5 laps here, the last 4 laps that are remaining on those medium tires, and then basically just roll with it. But he also has, or you as a driver also have to be, you have to know that the risk you take when not going into a pit stop and driving on is very high, because you always get slower when your tires are used. You always get slower, so you can't really keep up with the pace of the other ones, of the other drivers, if you stay out for too long. That's obviously not the case here, because Direwolves has still some pretty fresh tires. I think the usage was at 35%, so they are pretty much okay for now. But still, if you stay out for too long, then the tires get used, and that can be very dangerous, which is why usually if you stay out for too long, the FI or the racing officials will pull you out of the race and automatically disqualify you. But again, as I said, this is not the case right here. Direwolves still has some pretty fresh or good tires to go to finish this these last 3 laps here without having to fear any tire damage. The only damage that he has to fear is the one from braking, because he doesn't have a front wing, or he does have front wing damage, which is obviously not the best, or which is obviously not something you wish to get as a driver. And here he lands into the wall again in lap number 24, and here we can see it. The braking gets... The braking is more difficult and more difficult. It gets more dangerous each time. He has to be a little bit slower to know how to control the car enough to manage to move it right, but still not to let it swim. And here we can see he just goes out of the track because he's missing the grip on the tires, and obviously that front wing. Now it's going to be tough for him to keep Dawson, to keep that 4th place for the last 2 laps that are remaining here. We see if maybe some driver wants to talk about it afterwards in an interview, and that's what I wanted to I meant to say. That was what I wanted to address. It's that lack of control that the car has if you lose your front wing, or if you lose your tire grip. You're just completely caught off guard in every corner if you don't go slow. And if you go slow, obviously that means that you lose time and positions, which is what Direwolves needs right now, with 5 seconds from Valtteri Bottas away. TW now coming back here, and here we see again, you really have to over brake simple corners to be sure that you won't go out of the track or that you won't get into the walls. That is something you have to be very careful about. Here again into corner number 8, which I have to say, some drivers really did manage very well. Some drivers really were able to manage corner number 8 very well with ease and with not many problems. Oh, TW now getting closer and closer. And Dawson as well, only 0.4 away, half a second now from passing Direwolves. And Direwolves is probably trying to defend his P4, but that's not possible as it's going to get slammed into the wall there.
We're seeing major wing damage. Box, box, box.
Major wing damage. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And I'm very sorry for Direwolves right now, because he really did deserve that P4, at least that P5, but in the end it looks like no, TW did lose 5 seconds of difference between Direwolves and TW, which means that Direwolves,
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
that Direwolves will keep P5. Here into the last lap of the race to finalize the standings as they are right now for the Baku, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku of the Xbox here. And here again, that's basically it. Direwolves is even risking P5 here with this decision to keep on going on the medium tires and no front wing. But that's the end of this Grand Prix for our drivers. The Direwolves finishing on P6. I didn't quite see everyone else, but I believe TW finished on P7. As soon as we can see the standings, I will obviously know more, just like everyone else. But congratulations to whoever won. Congratulations to the drivers on a very successful and very, very interesting and fantastic race from everyone. Sure, there were ups and downs in this race. We had a safety car, we had some issues with the brakes, we had some very difficult and dangerous corner cuttings. But in the end, it was a very entertaining Grand Prix. It was a very entertaining Grand Prix. So here, we're about to see the standings again. Lando Norris winning, Direwolves finishing on P6, TW on P7. I can see Dawson on P14. And still it was a pretty entertaining race. A very, very entertaining race. Thanks to everybody who participated in this race. I'm very thankful for everyone who made part in this race, obviously today. And well, now we will see what the drivers have to say. So, welcome to the drivers. I hope you can understand me. Wait, sorry. Coming on. So, hello to the drivers. Congratulations on a very successful race. I mean, of course, there were ups and downs. We've all seen what happened. Now, would you want to tell me what did you think about this race?
Let's just say mad race. Coming up first, the first half of the race was pretty. Oh, it was okay. I made up some good positions first lap, which I was quite happy about that. Then it got to about, I think I had some contact, and I need to pit, so I pitted, and then it was going okay. I was getting some good time. Managed to get back up into like P6. Then last couple of laps, I had some, I made contact with wall a couple of times, and then going down. Then got to 25th lap, I think it was. I was going down the and TW and someone else in front of me. So I thought, tell you what, and there was like gap and a half there to the right. So I thought I'm gonna go for that gap, nearly ahead, and then obviously that calamity happened. But I'm happy that I came away with a P6.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I've seen there were some moments in the race that were really tense. Obviously, unfortunately, the exclusion of some drivers that had to leave due to some problems, technical difficulties, let's say. But, I mean, are you happy in the end with the race or with the race result?
Yeah, I'm happy with that result. Say that I ended up having to pit and came out dead last, and to be able to come away with P6, I'm quite happy with that.
I mean, do you think the decision of your decision to not go into the pits and end the race on the already used mediums and without a front wing, you could say, was the right decision? Or do you think with a front wing, with a working front wing and some good tires, you could have ended up a little bit higher?
Yeah, the tires for me were gripping quite well. I had a couple grip issues, but that was because the two front tires were going very cold, which I can't really see why. But I had some. It was okay. The tires are doing well, but then I started to get a bit not like tense kind of way when I started hitting a wall. When I hit the wall a few times. I think it was because he was trying to push himself and they couldn't have too much to create that 5-second gap with the penalty, which I unfortunately got during the safety car. But without a front wing, I feel like I could have maybe got. I mean, with a working front wing, I feel like I could have maybe got slightly higher and maybe wouldn't have lost a position to Grosjean at the end. But all in all, I think pretty good race.
Great. Thank you, Direwolves. Then let's pass on to James Toddy.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So, what can you tell us about your race experience?
It was very bad because I kept getting crashed into by everyone.
Do you think this was mainly
Do you
fault
think-
of the others, or you were also involved?
No, I think it was all the others that crashed me out for.
Do you think that the safety car was a help for the people to like regain position and reordinate a little bit into to get back into that racing style, or it brought a little bit more chaos into the race?
It brought a bit more chaos into the race because everyone was more compact and easier crashes could have happened.
Okay, and did you enjoy today's race, or would you say it was absolutely awful?
I enjoyed it even though I crashed out halfway through it.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I believe that was it for this interview session. If there are other questions, obviously, just ask. And, well, yeah. We'll see you next time in the next Grand Prix, which is obviously going to be the one in Canada. See you next time, everybody. And I wish all of you a very nice weekend and a very nice time. Goodbye.